Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today I want to do a quick video regarding the Canon EOS M50, which is like all my videos lately because I feel like a lot of you have had a lot of questions regarding this camera, and one of the biggest questions I have is how exactly this camera does with stills or photography. Now, I've been kind of hesitant to do videos on this subject because I'm not really that great of a photographer. But right now I'm actually on the way to go to IKEA so that we can get some lights for my studio area as well as more shelving units to spice it up a little bit. So without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and head there right now and hopefully get some photography shots in the cool scenery, which is IKEA. I think IKEA has probably got the best leading lines out of all the buildings I've been to in Charlotte, North Carolina. So I think it might be pretty cool. I'll probably be using the 18 to 135 millimeter lens as well as the 50 millimeter 1.8, which was in my previous video. I think these are probably the best two all-around lenses that most people who initially start out with photography use. I do want to use my kit lens, which is the 15 to 45 millimeter. However, I lost it in Virginia Beach and I'm still waiting to get it back. So what can I do? We're going to use these two lenses to substitute. One, because the 18 to 135 has better zoom length. It actually has some good glass in it that I think can produce some really good photography. The next thing is the 50 millimeter 1.8 allows in a lot more light, but it also gives a really good bokeh effect in the background, which I think can really give some really cool background effects and focus on the subject itself. Alright, so without further ado, let's go and take some pictures. Now please note, I'm not a professional photographer, I'm not an expert, but I did want to note a few things on this camera that I think you guys might enjoy with the Canon EOS M50 for photography. So one of the things that I did want to mention about this camera is how well the autofocus works. One of my favorite things about this is just the way the dual pixel autofocus automatically picks up all of the things that are in range, especially while you're shooting in high frame settings. The frame rate at which this camera shoots at is incredibly fast compared to the amount of pictures you can take with dual pixel autofocus involved. So I think the next best thing about this camera with the autofocus settings is the way that that does the eye detection. I was a little surprised at how well this actually worked. I will say that you have to have the subject in a portrait frame. It has to be a little bit closer to where it can pick up the eyes. But once it does pick up the eyes, it does it really well. I haven't tried this in a more lit outdoor session, so I haven't really been able to try that application. But when we did it indoors within the IKEA, it actually turned out pretty good, and I was really surprised at how well it focused on the subject's face, as well as adjusting the background lighting. I could have done better by setting the aperture of this lens a little better. This is the 50 millimeter to 1.8. So next time maybe I'll adjust it to where it automatically gets a little bit more bokeh in the back, but this is basically how it looks as I'm shooting it in high frames. Another cool thing about it that I noticed about this camera is that it has a really good ability to pick up subjects that are inanimate objects, such as the bottles right here. It actually focuses on the whole time. Even after I take the picture, it picks right back up on it. Even here you can see where the autofocus points start to show when I switch over to it over. The bottles, everything looks really cool. Actually, right here is when I'm shooting in manual mode. I wanted to try out the autofocus in manual mode, and as you can see, it does pretty well. I had Janet do a sit-down shot where she's reading a newspaper. The autofocus actually works really well. I will say that the eye detection has issues when the subject has something in front of the face or if they are wearing sunglasses or eyeglasses. So you will have that issue if you're shooting with the eye detection. But overall, I think the pictures actually turned out really good. I did want to show you guys basically what I was doing while I was shooting. I'm not really good at doing the whole shoot record while I'm shooting, so here are some sample pictures you guys might like that I shot while I was at IKEA, and just to give you guys an idea of how the photography works with this camera. I will say that I was enjoying the 50mm a lot more with an IKEA, just because it was a lot of cool things you can do with the background as well as focusing on the subject. So yeah, here it is. Check out these pictures. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I apologize if I'm not really that detailed on the information with this camera because I'm not a photographer. I did want to give you guys an idea of how the pictures can come out with this camera with some simple settings. And for me as an amateur, I think that these actually turned out pretty well. Okay, we're done with the photography slash video vlog shoot of the Canon EOS M50. Now we're heading back home so that I can edit this footage and finish up the rest of the night. We actually weren't able to get here in time for the food, so we have to go and find some food. That's the next mission for today. Matthew's extremely grumpy. Time to get these kids to sleep. Thanks guys for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.